welcome to a very special sustainability roundtable. We've been running inspiring discussion for 3 years now with the objective of triggering collaboration and sharing best business practices in our industry. On Monday, we were talking about sustainable sourcing and manufacturing process improvements, creating bridges of collaboration between GCC countries and Grasse, a region located in the south of France. Yesterday, we had the pleasure to welcome the International Fragrance Association on board, also known under the name of IFRA, to talk about guidance, regulation, and business opportunities to join a network of supporting members in the region. And today, we're going to talk about eco-design with a 360 approach, meaning including design agency, product manufacturers, suppliers, retailer, and inspiring brands. So before we kick off, I would like to ask each one of our guest speakers to introduce themselves. So we're going to start with Gaelle.
Thank you, Valerie. Hello, everyone. I'm Gaelle Doré, General Manager at Centdegrés, Middle East and India.
Gaelle, we don't know much about the concept of eco-design. What does it mean? What does it involve? And as you are evolving as a designer in this industry, could you tell us a bit more what to expect? What does it mean exactly?
So eco-design is designing products taking into consideration their environmental impact. It means thinking about all the stages of the product life cycle in terms of responsibility and in terms of sustainability. So it could be, from example, from the design stage and the weight of my product. It could be also from the materials sourcing and selection that I will use for the manufacture and production until the end of the life of the product. The selection of the raw materials, reusable, recyclable also, the manufacturing, the logistic, the distribution, and the use. So for us, eco-design is a full scope of expertise, managing by different experts. As a designer, we have a mission of educate our consumer about eco-design. And we understood that we cannot do this work alone. We have to work closely and we have to work in synergy with clients, designers, consultants, manufacturers, and suppliers. So that's why we decided, the Centdegrés group decided a few years ago to create a sister company called Monkey Turnkey, led by beauty experts with a real conscious approach about sustainability, helping for the development and manufacture of the product. Because if you don't know how the product will be manufactured, it doesn't make sense. If you don't know the trends, the innovation in terms of material, it doesn't make sense. So eco-design for me is really a synergy, a collaboration, a co-creation between the main expert of the industry.
Thanks for the explanation, Gaelle. That was very clear. Now I'm turning to you, Anisha, because you are a market insights, a market expert, and we'd like to hear a bit more about your journey with Secret Skin. And eventually you have some insightful knowledge about the market to share with us today.
Thank you. I don't think I'm the expert yet because our journey is really young, but I do believe that when it comes to clean beauty, clean color, I do believe that we've created a significant amount of credibility in this region. So I moved here 4.5 years ago, and I found that there's a gap because beauty buying in this region is very labor-intensive, time-consuming, and cost-prohibitive when it comes to clean beauty. Even though 68% of people, according to Euromonitor, are looking for the word clean, organic, natural in the ingredients when they're choosing the product, there's no availability, at least there wasn't in 2020. We didn't know yet that COVID was going to happen. So I began searching as a customer. Where would I go to buy hair care, bath and body without sulfates, parabens? I used to look for hydrosols instead of aerosols because I knew from my research that when you spray a bottle that's packed with vacuum, it releases CFCs in the air and destroys the ozone. Now, the reason why my education was a little better than everyone else is because 13 years ago, I had breast cancer. And during the time and my treatment, I was not able to find anything in the drugstores or supermarkets that would not have synthetic ingredients and preservatives that would impact my hormones and my fertility. So I started to get very inspired and frustrated that one day when I was ready, I will create something that women like myself could trust. So fast forward 13 years, I come to this region and I realize that women like me are placing orders on Cult Beauty, on brands Australia, India, US, UK to import it because nothing's available here. Then I realized that you're paying between 50 and 80% over in shipping and customs. Product arrives after 3 weeks. If you're not happy with the product, there's no local customer care. So if you're unhappy with the product or if it's leaking or you don't know that it's close to expiry, probably because of the way it looks, you can't send it back and you'll never buy from that place again. So I took the 7 brands that I was using personally as a customer, and the day I incorporated Secret Skin in February, Dubai declared a night curfew and the world went into COVID the same day. So I'd never run my business before, and I sat at my dining table and I said, oh my God, what have I done? But I stalked people on LinkedIn, on Instagram. I said, listen, I don't have a deck to show you. I don't have a platform. I'm not an Altair. I'm not a Shalu. But I promise you that we will raise the voice of women's health and wellness in this region. On the outside, we'll be a clean beauty retailer. On the inside, we will raise this awareness so that more and more women can be educated on what they're choosing to put on their body. Because if we're so careful about our babies, why aren't we careful about ourselves? Everybody knows cancer, breast cancer awareness. It shouldn't just be happening in October, but women live with this fear that one day something might happen to them and awareness is necessary. So we launched in October 2020. We went live with 7 brands. We started doing a lot of activations for PR. We couldn't afford it. We were a small startup, and we were very grateful that the universe blessed us with so much organic exposure, whether it was CNN, Vogue Arabia, Harper's. It was a beautiful, meaningful story, because what I want to do is change the beauty landscape here meaningfully and disrupt it, but meaningfully, keeping the woman's health in focus. So first year went by, second year went by, our brand started growing, investors started growing, press started coming, we started winning awards. And someone asked me one day, how are you going to compete with the big legacy players when they wake up that clean beauty is the future? And I said, I'm not here to kill the competition. I'm here to caress them into submission that you should work with us. So that dream was 3 years ago. Today, we are working with Bulgari, we're working with Shalhoub, we'll start working with Majid Al Fatem, we're working with Sinomi. So the idea, now Secret Skin is omni-channel retail. Wherever we find the customer that wants clean beauty and to change their consumption into mindful living, we are there. So during this journey, because I used to work with Amazon, so the data centricity around the consumer journey of what are customers shopping for, how long are they spending on the platform, the scroll depth, what are they reading, the dwell time, how long are they staying, how many interactions does the customer need to do digitally in order for them to convert and buy something, how often are they coming back, when they come back, how much do they spend, and do they come back to us between 4 or 6 weeks? When they come back, what do they buy? Do they buy something new or do they replenish what they have? So we started seeing this pattern. It's the women in this region that have the kitty for all personal care and beauty. They're buying for themselves, they're buying for their husbands. The husbands are using the bath and body, etc., in the shower, the same products. They're buying for their children. who were teenagers getting acne. Also, in other parts of the world, the split between men and women is 50-50. In this region is 30%, and 15% of this audience is made up of Gen Z. And Gen Z looks at brand values, looks at what does the brand stand for. They don't have the spend propensity to buy the La Mer's and the Augustinus Barders and the Tata Harpers, but they're willing to experiment. So in this region, on average, a woman will buy personal care and beauty, $220 a basket. That's the average order value. It's the highest than anywhere else in the world. And when she buys that, then she's using between 8 and 10 products a day, AM, PM, including hair, bath and body, makeup, right? Everybody agrees with this? And the men use between 5 and 7%. Men come and buy immediately. 17% of our customers are men. Then we started seeing that the boys, the gentlemen, were buying deodorant, charcoal bars, stuff that they could throw in the gym bag, because fitness was a big thing. So we started adding a lot of brands around fitness. Then we had women searching for pigmentation, pregnancy safe, acne, and then we started adding more products for that. So today we use innovation and technology to educate our audience, also using a lot of social advocacy on ingredients, transparency, why you should be using it. If you are confused about what to buy, book a slot with us in our virtual Zoom concierge so that we can help you in an hour to see what you use at the moment, understand what medication you're on, what your lifestyle is, and then change your complete routine. If you're using 7 products, we'll only give you 3 because we believe in what I like to call skinimalistic, right? So we started subscription programs, and it's a very pleasant data point that most of the subscription programs are men because they don't want to think about what they're buying. Every month, that box is there, auto debit. But the way men shop and the way women shop, completely different. For the women, it's all about the art and the science, the temptation, the ingredients, what they're looking at in campaigns, the seduction of beauty and aspiration. For the men, it's like, oh my God, I'm down to my last coin-size soap. Let me just quickly replenish. It's a very interesting behavior. And the more we learned, the more we were able to educate our partners, because fragrance is a very big category in this region. However, because the tide is shifting and the consumers becoming more and more mindful, brands have to be very focused on what kind of education they are giving. Now we see the big macro influencers everywhere for the luxury brands with supersized budgets. But as a small, young company, I don't like to use the word small, as a young company with limited budgets and very meaningful focus, what do? We started the Secret Skin Society. It's our ambassador program of 20 micro-influencers. We started working with our brands, saying next month in the customer sampling as well as on social media, from PR to seeding to digital marketing, our customers are only going to see you. So participate in a giveaway, participate in content, co-created content, and we took live something called a video carousel. These are shoppable videos that our influencers were making on reviews and advocacy. We had a lot of brand content because today we're at 50 brands. We said, we're not going to be like other retailers. We're going to introduce menstrual care and period care. So we started doing awareness campaigns around menstrual cups and the advantage of having organic cotton tampons, biodegradable sanitary napkins. We said we need supplements. We started supplements. Next month, we're introducing superfoods without caffeine, caffeine alternatives. So we work with our ambassadors, our micro-influencers, to ask them, hey, what do you think about this brand? Can I send it to you? Can you tell me why you would not use this brand or you would use this brand? Intimate wash. One of our influencers said, but then this has fragrance. So we had to educate them. Then when fragrance is nature-derived, then it's not as harmful as the other products in the market. So we've spent 3 years educating our audience. We have a very high repeat rate. We have a very low cancellation rate. Today, you can go on Instagram and use a virtual filter highlight to choose what lipstick shade to buy. We're happy about what we've done in 3 years.
Anisha, we are dearly impressed.
Thank you.
by everything you've been doing, your achievement, your
Thank you.
purpose, your story. It's an inspiration for all of us.
Thank you. You know, we did all this with just 4 people. I have only 4 people on the
It's
team.
unbelievable.
I'm the 4th.
It's unbelievable.
Thank
It
you.
seems like a 15 years company, you know?
Thank you. So we turned 3 last week, and I am now 13 years out of cancer.
MashaAllah. God bless.
Thank you.
Now that we collected your precious insights, and thanks for that, I'm turning to Meriem on packaging solution. So tell us, how does it translate in matter of packaging? What are the alternatives that you developed on the markets?
When it comes to sustainable designs and manufacturing or the perfumery industry, basically our trust is built on from our esteemed clientele from all over the world, and from actually prestige houses such as Dior, Chanel, and who turn to us for their diverse needs, whether it's creating design bottle packaging or factice creations, which are giant dummy bottles, perfume bottles, or producing tailor-made displays. And it's important to note that when it comes to sustainability, we actually offer an all-in solution for our clients. As you can see on the slide, we start off with a brief. So we sit down with our clients and actually discuss their sustainability targets. So a client could, for example, refuse to work with a certain material. We take that into account, such as plastic. And then on top of that, so we look at the directives, whether it's in line with the brand directives of the client. Then second, when it comes to design, we really look at the design of every product to reduce our carbon footprint. So we take into account recyclability. We take into account the easily disassembling of a product. So whether we can easily dispose a product as well, that to actually reduce our carbon footprint. So when it comes to production, it's important to point out 2 keynotes. Those are the factories and the materials. So when it comes to the factories, we actually have our main production sites in China and in Taiwan. And these factories are basically placed in the same area. So for that to have less footprint, but it's also a strategical way in a sense of, in this area, you'll find many suppliers with different materials. On top of that, we try to reduce our supply chain by being near the market for our clients. So we have factories in the US, we have factories in Europe, in Lithuania, and our workshop in Paris. And when it comes to materials, we actually only work with premium and recycled materials from sustainable sources. It's really important for us that we prove our commitment through different certifications such as SMETA, EcoDsign, or ISCC. And we continuously look and study and test new materials to actually improve our sustainability targets. And we look at our process. So it's continuous investment from our side to reduce energy consumption from actually the administrative level to the manufacturing operations. And that's why, for this very reason, we use solar power. And lastly, the last part, transportation, which actually speaks for itself. We look at the product packaging. So we try to move from standard packaging to actually go for more sustainable packaging and recyclable packaging. So it could be that we move from EPE foam to carton insert, or PET. We remove plastic in that sense. So these are some examples of the green materials we use. So we use, for example, bamboo, as well as recycled PET, which is a form of plastic, and recycled acrylic. So in the slide, you'll see that we noted the recyclability, so the second life of the material, and then as well, its resistance. So for example, if it's dishwasher proof, and so on. I'm not going to dive into too many details, but you could feel free to come to my booth at Hall 2, SAH10, and then we can discuss it even more in detail. So yeah, then the first project we did, and actually it's very exciting because yesterday we won the most innovative packaging of the year for this one.
We can clap, we can clap.
Yes, very exciting. Especially since we just opened our office in Dubai in April. So it's a promising point for us. But this is a project we've done for the Shangri-La Hotel in Hong Kong. And it was an advent calendar inspired by a Christmas market. So you'll see a carousel, basically. If you remove the cover, you'll find a whole Christmas market with like little surprises and sweets inside of it for the end consumer. The material, basically you have a leather, vegan leather handle. It's made completely from cardboard, strong cardboard, and paper as well. And you have little rivets. And this product is basically a great example to showcase how we really thought about the design when it comes to sustainability, and how we can easily disassemble it in a sense of you can easily remove the vegan leather from the top. The rest is completely cardboard, and as well as the leather rivets and so on. So it's easily basically to disassemble for the end consumer. And it's as well a product that could be maintained for a long time, because this is not something you're going to throw away. You're going to keep it to like hide in stuff into it. It could be jewelry, it could be anything else, which we try to maintain with every product when it comes to our project. So the second example is I have with me now, which is a contactless perfume dispenser. And this was based on the idea to actually, during COVID time, when we needed something without touching. So what it is, it's basically an acrylic display. And if you place, and it has a sensor on top, as you can see with the pink. And if you place your hand in front of it, it will automatically spray the perfume. So you don't even see it. And you can adjust the size to the bottle. So behind the display, you basically have the buttons that will take it up or down to adjust it. And it has a battery inside, interchangeable battery inside, which you can basically remove and charge. And the displays last up to 48 hours in terms of usage. So we have different options as well. So it could be with back panel, with light, and we really try to incorporate it in this design. And we get so many requests here as well, because people really appreciate this technology we have. The other point I would like to point out is the material I mentioned, bamboo. So we have won an awards for a glorifier, which was 100% made from bamboo. And it's important to note that we use vegetal and sustainable sources for it. And it's really strong material as an alternative for plastic. So it's really good to have this actually as a solution. The second point that I would like to note out as well is and it's actually the brainchild of Dapy, so the company, is the X label, or the luminous label.
So pretty.
Yes, it is.
So pretty.
Yeah, it's a luminous label, and it's mainly used actually in our spirits, for our spirits clients. They can actually place it around a bottle to highlight it at night in clubs. And this is something really new, and we are the first one to actually have it, as it's a tin product. Before, it was just a sticker that you place in front of the bottle, which you could not reuse. This one you could reuse 200 times for the bottle, and you can change it every time between bottles. So you don't have to throw it away. It has a long-term sustainability in that sense. And then the last one is paper pulp. And so many clients use this actually, such as Chanel and Gaelle, and it's a packaging for perfume. So instead of opting for a normal paper box, they use paper pulp. And paper pulp is actually a molding packaging material, so it's typically made from recycled paperboard. And I'm not going to go into too much detail, but it's a really good alternative for just a regular paper. Then the other one is augmented reality. So augmented reality enables us to reduce our environmental impact by diminishing the number of parcels we send. Because in this case, as I mentioned, the process we start off with a brief and prototype. Now we don't have to send the client the actual material. So we don't have to invest in materials and basically send out in transportation and so on. We can just make a QR code and actually digitally design the product for the client. And the client just has to scan the QR code and they'll see it in front of them. They can like turn it around, place it, see how it looks. It's a 3D modeling. So in this case, the only disadvantage is that in our industry, it's still important to have the touch effect. So the touch aspect is really important in the sense that the client wants to see the actual product, to see the end material and how it is. So that's a bit of a challenge in this sense, and it's still a growing thing. So we don't use it that often when it comes to our projects. And the last part is a new technology that we're working on, and it's not yet out, and we'll be the first one in the luxury packaging industry to actually offer this to our clients. I'm going to explain it really simple. So we have plastic and biodegradable additives. What we do is we inject these biodegradable additives in the plastic, and these additives start to eat out of this plastic until the plastic disappears.
Wow.
Yeah, quicker by itself in the world. So if you have a product that's made from plastic and you inject the additives in it, it will disappear. It will have a shorter lifetime. If you place it in a rough environment, such as sand, or another environment, it will basically disappear quickly in that sense. So that's a new technology that we're trying to offer our clients. And within 2 months, we'll have the result. So in case you're interested then, feel free to pass by and I'll let you know whether we can offer it or not.
Congratulations.
So we need to organize a webinar when you actually share the result with everyone.
Yeah.
For
That
sure.
would be lovely.
Yeah.
So then we're going to listen to Loïc Bouet on refillable options.
We have two main families of products. The first one concerns the perfume bottle equipped with a non-removable pump. I think in particular to crimped pump. The second family concerns this time perfume bottle which the pump can be removed. Often it's unscrewable pump. It's part of our second families of product. In that case, we can refill fragrance bottle with unscrewable pump. The first product of our first family is named RT Plug. It's a concept that permits to refill a fragrance bottle through the pump. I mean that it's not necessary to remove the pump to make refillable the fragrance bottle. This technology is available with machines, and it's a reason why it's mainly used in shops. The first client who trusts this technology is Louis Vuitton fragrances, and after we also have some new developments for Chanel or L'Oréal brand Lancôme. The second product I want to talk with you is RT Twist. The cap RT Twist is screwed directly on the neck of the fragrance bottle. The connection is automatic, and you open and close the system, so you start to flow the fragrance or to stop the flow of the fragrance automatically when using the RT Twist onto the neck of the fragrance bottle. The flow stops automatically when the level is reached inside the fragrance bottle. It's an important characteristic because in that case we can refill fragrance bottle without seeing the level, and even if the bottle is opaque. Brands are using this technology. I think in particular to Gaelle, who are the first using this closure for their fragrance bottle. And after, we are working with Rochas, Burberry, Jean-Paul Gaultier, Dior, and so on and so on. A lot of brands are trusting this technology. Another product now, RT Twist Universal. Like this product is named, it's universal, so you can refill every fragrance bottle without interaction with the neck. Because often brands have a range of products with 15, 30, 50 ml. 100 ml, and the neck can be different. In that case, ABTYS Universal is the solution because we just have to put the refill onto the fragrance bottle, and to turn a ring, it's the on or off position. Of course, like all our solutions, the flow will stop automatically when the level is reached. So for security, it's an important characteristic also. As an example, all the brands of L'Oréal Group are using this kind of ABTYS Universal for Lancôme, Prada, Armani, and other brands of this group. As you can imagine, all these products are customizable. As we produce in our own factory, you can choose the color, we can add a specific logo, or we can respond as possible to a lot of demands. Our large experience in the refilling field gives to Techniplast the expertise to give response to a lot of specific demands, as you can imagine on the market, to refill other formulas like shampoo, oil, or different formulas than fragrance. I think in particular to a specific project done a few years ago for Physiodose from Kerastase, and they asked for us for refill small vials for hairdressers. Another development that I don't want to expose because it's very new and also in progress is to propose solutions for small travel size bottles.
So we covered the concept of eco-design, the marketing trends that are related to the retail, and then the packaging solution. But now there's a very important piece that is missing to this puzzle. It's the brand. What does eco-design actually mean to the brand? So we are turning to you, Amna, if I may, and we'd like to hear everything about Arcadia. What is your journey? How did you start? And then what's the impact of eco-design as well, because it's really close to your heart. So we're listening to you.
Thank you so much. Well, the journey of Arcadia actually started way before I even launched the brand in 2017. For me, it started on the day of my wedding. I decided to do a giveaway for my guests at my wedding, and I wanted to create a fragrance that represented my husband and I. And from that, it developed into something very, very beautiful. And a lot of people actually came back to me after the wedding was over, and they were like, "Do you have extra?" And it kind of grew into something that I obviously became really good at. After the birth of my first daughter, I created a scent for her. And I realized I had a knack for creating fragrances, and I actually wanted to create something that was beautiful, something that reflected memories, something that invoked nostalgia. And it all stemmed from my late mother. So I started the brand based off of her memory. And given the fact that we've always been into perfumery traditionally and culturally, I decided to create a brand that introduced scents that were from the UAE that created a different twist to it. And while we were creating the scent and coming up with the branding, I thought to myself, I wanted it to be very minimal, very simple, very contemporary as well in comparison to all the brands that have developed from the Middle East and have come out of the Middle East specifically. I really thought to myself that this was a brand that I saw globally, not just in the GCC. So with a lot of, research, I wanted to create a brand that focused also on sustainability and as well as creating scents that were naturally derived from natural resources, getting the scents from natural essential oils, as well as making sure that no animals were harmed in the process. So I looked into each and every single factor of creating the perfume, whether it was the juice itself, the bottle, the cap, the glue that the sticker had, the box itself. So many things came into fruition when we were creating the brand. And there were so many times within the brand after it was launched that we went back and we did change a couple of things because it wasn't meeting the brand guidelines that we had initially created, and we did change a few things. And everything is locally made in the UAE. Everything is created in Dubai. And that was what I wanted to, give back to the world.
And it seems that you really included eco-design all across the process of designing Arcadia.
Yes.
From the scent to the packaging to the way you'll be distributing the product.
Every single aspect of creating this product, the final product, is really relied on recyclable material, natural materials, making sure that it's paraben-free, sulfate-free. A lot of an extension line to the product. We have candles as well. Those candles, well, the mold of the candle is created from reusable cement as well, that's collected from construction sites. We reuse cement. We reuse so many things just creating this brand, and we've created something really beautiful from something so imperfect, I would say.
There's something as well that we may have forgot to touch upon that's very close to your heart. It's responsible sourcing, and then collaborating with local designers, with local perfume manufacturer to design and support you in the process. And this is something that came out of our conversation as well.
Yes, we have collaborated with a lot of people to create the final amazing results that we have today.
So you're very humble that there is a lot to discover about your brand.
Definitely a lot to discover, yes.
And I see that your extension line could actually very well fit inside a secret skin box. So from the retail industry, the retail side of things, do you want to tell us a bit more?
You talked about luxury and solutions for luxury, and how you and Loïc are able to bring together solutions for luxury brands who want to become more sustainable. But then there is another element to it where there are smaller independent brands, and they are more mindful about the sustainable packaging and the practices around the value chain of product integrity, fair trade, ethical sourcing, bioengineering, everything that is good for the health and good for the planet. So for me, in this panel, what came together is that how do you take small independent brands that don't have the kind of budgets, like a Prada or a Perfume, and I wanted to give an example of this. How does a retailer, and when you go to an Amazon or a Shaloub or a Faces or a Sephora, the brand identity of the parent itself is not as strong as the color palette and the identity of all the brands that they're showcasing. But we were very clear 3 years ago. We want to build Secret Skin as a brand. So when the customer gets the box, not only is the customer mindful that this is made with local recycled material, cardboard, and there's also a line here, made locally with 100% recyclable material and eco-friendly foil stamping for the love of the planet. So imagine a customer or an influencer gets it. They love our unboxing. Whatever campaign is running that month is on the card. And we talk about how you have added to the wheel of conscious revolution by one single click, how you're providing microeconomies to individual tribes that wild harvest the ingredients that go into the box. So what we offer our brands, and I'm excited to show this and I'll pass the box around, like brand Augustinus Bader, this is a squeezy bottle for the shower and it's made of sugarcane. You didn't think that Augustinus Bader would do something like this, right? And then you have glass, and this is an Ayurvedic brand called Molly. And it sits on a bed of hay because there's no plastic. And you always get something in a linen pouch, and our customers like reusing this because whatever brand is being showcased that month, there are minis in this, and you don't have to cap a certain number. And what's interesting, it's also here, I'll pass this around, is that there is an opportunity for you to see and for smaller brands to see what a retailer looks at when we decide what goes into our box. I'm going to pass this around, and I'm going to pull out one product which is actually in this expo. Would you like to pass it around and see it? Just for you to see. And this is made here. I'd like to direct your attention to this screen. Now, the box that you're looking at is this, right? And we talked about perfumes earlier, about the glass bottles, and this brand below is RMS Beauty. It has active ingredients in it. And on the inside, and it's in the box, you'll see, you push it out from the back, and you can change the square, which comes in the pouch. And this is active ingredients, and it's called Hydra Blush. RMS Beauty also does these refillables, so that means that you can use the bottle of primer as a pump, and when it finishes, you can refill and by buying just the small refill. As you can see, and I know that Augustinus Bader is on the higher side, but on the independent Ayurvedic brands, we're using post-consumer plastic, PET, that you talked about. This brand I discovered yesterday. It's called Skin Fed. Now, on the outside, it looks like organic butter and scrub bar, cocoa and coffee with cocoa butter. I promise you, I'm going to pass this around. This looks like a chocolate bar. And this is here. I think they were nominated for an award last night. I don't know if they won. This is chocolate. You can't eat this in the shower, but you smell it, and it's a scrub. So brands are doing everything possible to be innovative in the way that they're appealing to the customer in terms of providing delight. So when brands come to us and say, we want to be on Secret Skin, so we say, all right, if you are saying organic ingredients, do you have an EcoCert certification? If you are saying natural, like do you have a Cosmos certification? All right, we have ABC. If you're saying cruelty-free, which is one of the guardrails of Secret Skin, do you have PETA or Leaping Bunny? And then if you say your shelf life is 36 months or 24 months, which is actually a really good shelf life, right? They'll be like, it's 36 months. So then we say, okay, if it's 36 months, what is the preservative you're putting in it? Because for me, my customer has their trust in me. So they say phenoxyethanol or 1,2-hex. Okay, that's actually good. If you had potassium sorbate or shea butter, vitamin E, that would have been better. But if it's phenoxy or it's 1,2-hex, what percentage is it? If they show me a paper which says 1%, I'll take it. So then we look at packaging, and we look at a very conscious way of how they're addressing the concerns around the environment, as well as the resources, because we're putting so much natural burden. So if you're out there and you want a brand, you want your brand to be listed on Secret Skin, talk to us. And we'll also be able to guide you how we use this center of excellence model, from the PR to compliance to legal to influencers with Secret Skin Society, how we build the resonance. Because these brands, today's independent brands, can be tomorrow's Aesop, tomorrow's Tata Harper, tomorrow's Augustinus Bader. Yeah, so that's my take on sustainable packaging and how a young retailer sees sustainable packaging. And the good news is that even the legacy players like an Altair or a Shalhoub or Sinomi, because they don't have the number of brands, the independent brands, and they don't have the community, because Secret Skin is where content and community comes together with commerce. That's our strength. And it's our strength that we've built towards for the last 3 years. That's why we own this space, I would like to think. We educate our players, the legacy partners like a Bulgari or the big retailers, saying, we'll bring you the content, the community, and the brands. Just help us raise the voice of sustainable beauty in the region.
I think that you want 1,000 users today, if not more.
Thank you. You can see everything that we do on Instagram, the.secretskin, and you'll get to see these beautiful videos that our ambassadors make.
Definitely.
And the advantage is that when they make these videos, UGC content, right? Because young brands can't spend so much on digital marketing. We don't have the budgets. So we take their videos and we package them so nothing gets wasted. and then we put them in a shoppable carousel on Secret Skin, and then we link it to Instagram. So it's that beautiful
Everything is looked.
circle.
It is a sustainability ecosystem that you are
Yeah.
building, bringing together, like building a strong network of sustainability agents and bringing them all together for greater good. It's beautiful.
Thank you. I'm very proud of it.
Yes. Now I'm turning to Gaelle. Gaelle, would you like to conclude in a few words on the future of sustainability and eco-design? Where do you see that evolving?
So I think the future of eco-design still not an easy question because we are not able to see in the future. But I think the future of eco-design will be the consumer acceptation of eco-design as a luxury approach from the brands. The more the brand will use this eco-design approach, the more the brands will adopt this eco-design and sustainability approach, the more the consumer will be educated and the more they will see the eco-design as, again, a luxurious approach. So I really believe that doing eco-design, eco-responsibility, sustainability today is a luxury value for the brands, but also for the consumer, because taking care of people, taking care of the planet, it's one of the best value, one of the most luxury value that we can have as a brand. So the future for us will really, again, I mean, it's a bit what I was explained before, is the more we are working in collaboration between brands, between suppliers, distributor, retailer, the more we will bring innovative solution for the consumer and for the market. So the future for us is also to be able to work all together, because we are talking about a very important subject. We are talking about the future, we are talking about the people and the planet. So it's time to really sit down all together and work all together to find the best solution for the market and the consumer. And in terms of innovations, the innovation will come mostly, but not only, from the material trends and especially the performance of the materials, meaning finding new innovations in terms of materials, but also be able to work on the performance of the materials in terms of profitability, in terms of transformation. Profitability, because at the end, it's also a question of cost for everybody. In terms of transformation also, and in terms of energy consumption. So innovation will come from many parts, but material trends will be for sure a big innovation. It's today a big innovation, but again, it will be more tomorrow, big trends around the material.
Now, just to wrap up, in one word, to summarize this conversation, what do you take away from this inspiring discussion? So this time we're starting with you, Amna. What is your takeaway?
I think it's a good learning experience. I mean, we're experiencing so many different innovative ways to, grow our companies. I mean, it's always changing. So knowledge is power at the end of the day.
Sure. Thank you. Miss Meriem.
I think the key takeaway I would give is to embrace sustainability as the key fragrance of the future. Just as we create these scents for our end consumer, it's also important to not forget our planet. And so I would give as a recommendation to choose the right partners with sustainable packaging and responsible manufacturing processes.
Gaelle?
I think for me is, as a brand, because we are working every day with brand, it's to don't try to fight again all eco-responsibility battles, because it's a huge work. It's important, but it's huge. So maybe go step by step. It's already a big step. I think the most important is, as a brand, you need to work on your eco-design, eco-responsibility vision. What means eco-responsibility for my brands, in line with your DNA and your values, and try to work around.
Anisha?
I think there were so many words that were used today, like eco-design. Loïc used eco-chic. I think or eco-lux, which is how we describe secret skin. I think what stands out is the word eco. It's about a consciousness that we need to be more responsible. For me, I feel that the future is here, finally, in the Middle East, where people are prioritizing this, and we're ready for it.
Thank you, everyone, for this inspiring discussion today. Thank you for attending the discussion and looking forward to continuing crafting the industry together. Thank you.